Pleasure to be here. Geoff Hinton will be out here in just a second, and so I'm just going to offer a few preliminary remarks. One being that it is really an extraordinary honor to have Geoff Hinton here. He is was slightly modestly described as the founder, pioneer of AI in Canada, but really even more than that, he's really truly one of the true pioneers and the giants in the field. So that is a great privilege. He has another, I don't know if you'd call it an achievement, but it sort of explains a little bit the stage setup here, is that he told me that he has not actually sat down in a chair since 2005. Maybe some kind of world record for standing up, but he has a herniated disc which prevents him from sitting down, so he'll be standing here while we talk. Now, AI, and this is, part of what we'll get into in the beginning of this discussion, AI means a lot of different things to different people these days. It's thrown around a lot as what could really be thought of as a marketing term as much as anything. And so that's how we're going to start out the conversation here. And first of all, welcome, Geoff. Thank you so much for being here. And Geoff was also, he noted to me, recently named, just to give you a sense of both his own personal importance in the field and the importance of this field in general, that Geoff was named one of the 50 most influential people in the world, which is quite a statement, actually. So congratulations. Now, just to start out, as I was just saying, AI, artificial intelligence, machine learning, these are terms that get thrown around a lot, especially these days. It's often hard to discern what they really mean. I mean, computing by itself can be thought of as a form of AI. So what is the definition of artificial intelligence?
So the definition is doing things that would make a person seem intelligent if a person did them. But that doesn't get you very far. What happened was about 60 years ago, there were two schools of thought. There was a clash between two paradigms for how to make an intelligent system. So one paradigm was logic. So if I give you some true premises and some valid rules of inference, you can derive some true conclusions. And the people who believed in logic thought that's the way the mind must work. And somehow the mind is using some funny kind of logic that can cope with the fact that sometimes you discover things you believed were false. Normal logic has problems with that. And so one paradigm said, we have these symbolic expressions in our head, and we have rules to manipulate them, and the essence of intelligence is reasoning, and it works by moving around symbols in symbolic expressions. There was a completely different paradigm that wasn't called artificial intelligence, it was called neural networks, that said, we know about an intelligent system, it's the brain. And the way that works is you have lots of little processors with lots of connections between them, about 10 to the 14 connections between them, and you change the strengths of the connections, and that's how you learn things. So they thought the essence of intelligence was learning, and in particular, how you change the connection strengths so that your neural network will do new things. And they would argue that everything you know comes from changing those connection strengths, and those connection strengths change have to somehow be driven by data. You're not programmed, you somehow absorb information from data. Well, for 60 years, this battle has gone on, and fortunately, I can tell you recently it was won, and the neural nets was the right approach.
Some people talk as though there'll be some point, some particular moment when machines get smarter than people. I don't think it'll be like that at all. Machines will get better at some things, and much later they'll get better at other things. Machines will be better than people quite soon at interpreting medical images, for example. A bit later on, they may get better at translating foreign languages. It'll be a long time before machines are good at things like writing poetry or novels or understanding really subtle text. So I think it's going to happen at different stages. I think it's very hard to predict how long it'll take. And most experts think it'll be like 50 years before machines become smarter than people at most things. I personally believe that probably machines will get smarter than people at almost everything, but it'll take a long time.
Are we close to the computers coming up with their own ideas for improving themselves?
Yes, we might be.
and then it could just go fast.
That's an issue, right? We have to think hard about how to control that.
Yeah, can we?
We don't know. We haven't been there yet, but we can try.
Okay, that seems kind of concerning.
Yes.
Do you have any, you're seen as like a godfather of this industry. Do you have any concern about what you've wrought?
I do a bit. On the other hand, I think whatever's going to happen is pretty much inevitable. That is, one person stopping doing research wouldn't stop this happening. If my impact is to make it happen a month earlier, that's about the limit of what one person can do.
The man widely seen as the godfather of artificial intelligence has quit his job at Google, warning of the dangers of AI. Dr Geoffrey Hinton's pioneering research on deep learning and neural networks has paved the way for current AI systems like ChatGPT. But in a lengthy interview with the New York Times, Dr Hinton said he now regretted his work and is worried that AI technology will flood the internet with misinformation. Google responded in a statement saying, "We remain committed to a responsible approach to AI." Dr Hinton has been telling the BBC how these systems can know so much.
The kind of intelligence we're developing is very different from the intelligence we have. We're biological systems, and these are digital systems. And the big difference is that with digital systems, you have many copies of the same set of weights, the same model of the world. And all these copies can learn separately, but share their knowledge instantly. So it's as if you had 10,000 people, and whenever one person learned something, everybody automatically knew it. And that's how these chatbots can know so much more than any one person.
Well, Dr Hinton also told the BBC the rate of progress is worrying.
Right now, what we're seeing is things like GPT-4 eclipses a person in the amount of general knowledge it has, and eclipses them by a long way. In terms of reasoning, it's not as good, but it does already do simple reasoning. And given the rate of progress, we expect things to get better quite fast. So we need to worry about that. Right now, they're not more intelligent than us, as far as I can tell. But I think they soon may be.